Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Maia Valario, and with me tonight is Allie Wenskowski, an executive producer for After the Whistle. Thank you so much for coming in tonight, Allie.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course. So to get started, what is After the Whistle?
So After the Whistle is a high school and Penn State sporting show that's live on Friday nights. So basically every Friday night we go out at 5 o'clock and we cover all the high school football games in the area. We go out up to an hour and a half away, which we've been doing the past few weeks because of playoffs. We go out, we shoot the games, we get interviews from our game of the week, and then we come back, we edit it all together, and at 11:30 we're live no matter what.
That's awesome. Sounds like a lot. So why did you get involved with After the Whistle in the first place?
So I got involved actually my first week of being a student here. As a freshman, I came in, I saw Bob Martin's emails to get involved in this high school sporting show, and I thought it'd be cool, so I checked it out. I went to a game my first week, met everyone there. That's like how I met the first people at school, and it was just a great experience, so I kept with it. I was in it last year as well. I was in it in the spring. In the spring, they do like other sports besides football, so I think that's pretty cool being like a baseball fan. But yeah, I just kept with it, and then I applied for EP last year, and then I interviewed for it, and yeah, this year I'm an executive producer for it.
That's awesome. So what does the schedule look like for the show? I know you explained it a little bit in your first answer, but give me some more details about that.
Yeah, so on Tuesdays, it's an all-student-run organization. So on Tuesdays, we come together at 5 p.m. and we do a little planning meeting. So that's where we go through, we plan out who's going to what games we're covering. We also go through who's going to anchor, who's going to be our Game of the Week reporter, because we have a bunch of like on-air positions as well, and those are decided by the executive producers beforehand, and then we go through our meeting, decide who's going to games, and then that's pretty much for Tuesday. But then on Friday at 5 p.m. we all get into the studio upstairs. We do a little pre-meeting, and then we send off our crews. So students are driving to games. I'm usually driving to a game. We send out our crews. They go to their game. They get to the game around 6:30. So like an hour to half an hour before the game, set up, get programs and everything like that. Then we shoot the game. Usually we just go to halftime or a little into the third quarter, but our game of the week, which is one game every week, we'll shoot the whole game and then get an interview with a coach and a player after the game and do a stand-up and everything like that to make a package for the show. So then everyone comes back. Everyone but the game of the week will be back to the studio by 9:30. And that's where we just edit the rest of the night. Anchors get into the studio at 10:30 and then go live at 11:30.
That's awesome. Sounds like you have a busy schedule. So next, you are a producer for After the Whistle. What's your responsibilities in that position look like?
So it changes a little bit every week, but usually it just means on Tuesday we come to the studio a little bit early to discuss who's going to anchor, who's going to be a game of the week. So we make those decisions with our managing editor, who's like the top dog in charge. Once those are figured out, we're pretty much done for Tuesday. But then on Friday, we go out like normal, like all the other members. We shoot our games, we edit our VOs. But then after that, I just go through the entire script of the show, and I basically edit. I make sure there's no missing scores. There's plenty of scripts in, like everything's in, so we're ready to go at 11:30, because if something's missing, that's my fault. And then after the show, it's pretty simple. I just put away batteries, I clean up everything, and then I go home at about 1 a.m. every Friday.
Wow. So how is After the Whistle different from other sports shows here on campus? Because we have a lot.
We definitely do. And I am in Sports Night, actually, as well, so which is a little bit of a different taste. But I love After the Whistle. First off, it was live, which Sports Night wasn't live until last year. So I loved that right off the bat, being a freshman. I could also get on-air reps as a freshman, which I know many shows also do that as well. But I think it's just so interesting. I mean, there's no other show out here that you go out all the same day, you get all your footage, you're the one filming, even freshmen. We have a full freshman crew going out this week. You're filming your game and you're putting it together. I just loved like how fast it was and that it was all one night. Now, it is like 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. on Fridays, but I love it. Like, I wouldn't change my Friday night for the world.
It definitely seems like it gives you some great real-world experience for after we graduate. What is your favorite part of the show as a whole?
I love being an executive producer. I love that managing and just editing part, especially since I've been there so long. But I do love anchoring. I love getting behind the desk. I anchored last week with one of our other executive producers, and I've anchored a lot of times in my career there. But there's just something about going live. I mean, you do it here, you know what it's like, but there's something about going live in front of the camera that's just so exciting, especially reading highlights, which I don't have a script for, so I'm kind of just going off reps.
Right. How can anyone interested get involved in After the Whistle?
So it's so easy to join. We have had so many new members in the past year, which is wonderful. We take any grade, no matter what. So we have a lot of new freshmen, 2+2 students. Basically, you can just come to our Tuesday meeting, and from there we'll get you started. We'll get you added to our group meet, which is where we send our messages. So it's Tuesday at 5 p.m. in the upstairs Willard studio, or Fishbowl, whatever the room number is called. And yeah, we'll get you started. You won't be able to shoot your first week. We have you just come to the show and shadow what it's like, but then you can shoot your second week.
Awesome. And lastly, I want to know do you have any advice for those interested in joining After the Whistle?
I just say to do it. I mean, I just joined immediately, and it was a great experience. It's my favorite club on campus. I've stuck with it. Now on Fridays in the fall, it is a big commitment, and it's a little bit less of a commitment in the spring because we do our show throughout the whole week instead of just Fridays. So if you're interested, come join now, or come join in the spring if you're busy on Fridays. I mean, that is a big commitment, but just come join and see if you like it.
Well, Allie, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I really appreciate it, and telling us all about your experience with After the Whistle. Now, stick around, because coming up next, Eva and Audrey will have the latest news from across the nation.